The Almost Perfect Podcast.
Welcome to the Almost Perfect Podcast, a celebration of fuck-ups, failures, and falling flat on your face. This is a podcast that believes you can learn from experience, but that experience doesn't have to be your own. Hi, my name is Bob Perfect, and I'm a functional fuck-up. Let's learn from someone else's mistakes. And today we are going to be learning from Miss Lindy Johnson. Yes, the one and only Miss Lindy Johnson. You've probably seen her on TV if you've got Showmax. She has been on Trevor Nationwild, which is pretty wild. And if you're on Twitter, you almost definitely know her as well. She is Lindy Yay on there, and she's actually developed quite a cool following through the internet, which we obviously discuss in this podcast. She's a naturally funny woman. She's incredible. I still haven't seen her live, like in person yet, so I still need to do that. But I've seen the Showmax stuff, and I've seen her enough online and listened to her in other podcasts, on Simi's podcast and Lesson on Somebody's. And I got to hang out with her, and I can tell you she is just one of those people that just is funny. Like, she has it. She has the thing that, you know, makes her a good comedian off the bat, and we discussed that. She got into stand-up comedy in a pretty unique way, and just from the start was doing well. She hasn't really suffered too much in it compared to others, and we get into that. Although she has died in a room that nobody else dies at typically. So once again, that's something we discuss. We also discuss obviously the pressures of being a prodigy in this comedy thing, or at least being, you know, a young up-and-comer with a lot of promise and a lot of potential and a lot of pressure on her. We get into the life of a colored woman, of a fat colored woman. She gets into that quite a bit and explains, you know, that it developed her into the comedian that she is today, how it made her an observational person, and through that observation she's now able to make the jokes that she makes. And we also get into Cape Town and why the DA is so fucking cuck about, you know, spatial planning or spatial apartheid. It's about how the bus service only really works for white people, because I love the Cape Town bus service when I go there because it's so easy to use. But, you know, like the taxi service is the real service that gets you where you need to go. Well, the taxi service and the trains. So we get into all of that, and it's such a dope chat. She's such an easy person to chat to. It's just so fluid, and it really did feel like we just met, like, just before this podcast. It wasn't, you know, like we had known each other for ages, although the internet does give you that vibe of you kind of know people. So yeah, we met and it felt like we had known each other forever, and we just kicked it off, and it was cool. We did this podcast at Angel Campy's place. Thank you, Angel, for letting us use your space. We also did the next podcast. I don't know if it's coming out next, but the one that I did with Richelieu Benoit and with Yassine Barnes, I did one together with them. We also did that at Angel's place. So thank you so much, Angel, for your hospitality. Also, a big thank you to Paul Cowan for his hospitality for the whole Musenberg Festival. That's why I was in Cape Town. He brought me down for that, and it was incredible. I had such an amazing time, and I'm just getting amped to go back. I'm probably trying to get back to Cape Town at the end of January, and it looks like I'm going to be in Joburg in the middle of December, so that's pretty cool. Getting my traveling on, trying to make this thing work. Speaking of trying to make things work, I set up a Patreon account for this podcast. Gareth Morris Hale actually hit me up because I kind of bring it up a little bit in this podcast, and it's something that I'll discuss at length a little bit later, but I'm shutting down Durban Is Yours. And I put that out on Facebook, and Gareth was like, well, you know, where should I put my Patreon money now? Because he's a Patreon subscriber for Durban Is Yours. And so, yeah, he decided, he was like, yo, where's the vibe for Almost Perfect? And so I set one up for the Almost Perfect podcast. And if you would like to contribute any money to this thing, if you enjoy it, if you want to buy me a beer, or you want to buy me a banky, those are like the two little tiers there that I've put up. It's on brand, you know, it's on brand, but the money actually will be used for real things. So for Black Friday, I'm buying myself a PC. I've already saved quite a lot of money for that, and I want to be able to do that. But then after that, I want to just develop a little studio, like get a camera and just be able to film stuff, be able to record more stuff, and be able to just create a lot more content. So I'm going to be starting a new website called almostperfect.co.za, so the money will also go into that. So yeah, if you enjoyed this podcast, please go to patreon.com/the almost perfect. No, just /almost perfect. I will put all the links in the show notes so you can find that for yourself. But yeah, it's just a cool way to try and make some money out of this thing. Even though I am pretty new to it and I don't expect anything from this, it's something I'm doing a lot for my own personal development, to be completely honest. I want to learn from other people, but I wouldn't mind getting paid as well. And if you do find value in this, if you feel like, you've got $1 worth of information out of this over the last little while, then yeah, patreon.com/almostperfect. I've also got a mailing list now, because I got a Facebook fan page for this as well, but you know how Facebook is, like, I've got to pay money for you to be able to see that. So I've set up a mailing list as a more direct way to hit up people. Some of you actually would have received this podcast via the mailing list today, which is awesome. Thank you for signing up already. The link will be on my Facebook, or you can just inbox me on any of the social media platforms. Instagram in particular, I hate Bob Perfect, is where you can find me there. Alternatively, my email address is almostperfectpod@gmail.com, so you can hit me up there if you've got any questions, you got any suggestions, you've got anything like that. That would be pretty cool. So hit me up there, almostperfectpod@gmail.com. And I think that is all that I need to say before we kick this one off. So without further ado, here it comes with Lindy Johnson.
You're not going to have an intro, nothing, just straight.
No, because I do a preamble. So
okay.
I'll introduce this like in a little 3-minute thing beforehand.
Oh, okay.
Like, Lindy Johnson is a
I think
comedian.
I listened to the Carvin Goldstone one.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, he's so easy to interview. Like,
yeah, but I find him so interesting as a person, just
same.
like his whole career, because I cannot imagine starting comedy without a background.
Yeah.
He was like the first comic in Durban, like he was just like...
Well, in the second wave, so there was the wave of like John Flosmus and all of them back in the day, and then they left, and then it was...
There was no structure,
nothing.
like the structure I know now. I've never been in a place where I had to do anything, be a pioneer. I've never had to do that kind of
so
thing.
when you started comedy, everything was there.
Was there already for me? I started, I find the story hilarious. Nobody else does as well.
That's a bad thing for a comedian.
Yeah. It's the worst. But the thing is, I was at uni and I was doing so poorly, shame. And then I did this competition because all my housemates were doing competition. And they could sing.
So all your housemates were comedians?
No, they were just doing the Marty's Got Talent. It was called the talent competition. And then they could play instruments, they could sing. So they did the competition. And then I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Because they were like, this is a house thing. We should do it as a house. Because we had a lot of house activities. And then we did the competition together. And I was like, I've always wanted to do comedy. Might as well try it now. And then I tried and I came second in the competition. I lost to a dance group.
Well, I mean, there's more of them, so statistically you're probably going to lose. Like.
Yeah, but I mean...
Also, did they have fans there? Like, they were cheering for them?
They were good. But the thing is, I lost by like...
Also, your first time doing comedy, you can't expect to win the competition. I know your career has gone very well for you.
I expected to win. At that point, when you first start comedy, it was just like... why I love that story so much? Because I was so fucking nervous. Can I swear?
Yes, of course. We've actually just met. I was about to say,
yeah. I feel like I've known you all the time. Anyway, but at that point, because I didn't know anything about comedy world, like specifically comedians, but then I was so nervous. I felt like I was dying, like my heart was beating so fast. And then I got on stage, it was all clear. And it was just that peace when you get on stage.
And is that still like that for you? Or do you get those gigs where... Do you ever have gigs where it's not that clear for you? Or is it always just like this feeling of like, I know what I'm doing here?
I know what I'm doing there. But the thing is...
So you're just a natural at this?
I think so.
I think so too, to be completely honest. And I feel...
You've never even seen me on stage.
But I've seen like videos of you. And I've also like seen your jokes. And I've heard you on podcasts. I've heard you've got a natural funniness to you.
Thank you very much.
I
can't say thank you. I feel bad for saying thank you for that because I didn't earn it.
Yeah, because it's natural.
Yeah.
You worked for it.
Well, I work now at jokes and on stage. Like if I get off stage and someone's like, that was funny, you did
Miss
well.
Angel Campy in the background.
Hello, what's up everyone? They're using my house as a recording studio.
Yep, because no one else on Instagram replied.
I'm a fan. This is me. I won this
Angel.
from retweeting.
Well, yeah, I would actually love to interview you sometime soon.
Sure.
Probably the next time I'm back when our schedules line up.
Aligned.
Yeah, because you now got your daytime your radio show every single day, so
You guys can't see, but Angel's shoes are so cute.
they're pretty.
I'm putting on pom-pom fluffy heels.
Yeah.
They're by Courtney
Stiletto,
Cousins.
like-
Shout out. She gave
Yeah.
them to me free.
Those are wild. Like
One
I
of
feel
my
like those
sponsors.
could be like used in the bedroom, like as.
Well, I'm emceeing an event straight after radio, and the theme, it's for Friesling Hof Wine, and their mascot is a peacock. So the theme is
so
show your peacock.
So you're peacocking. Cool.
So this is a little peacocky with these pom-poms on shoes, and then I've got a...
yeah, I feel like
Lily's laughing because I said cocky.
You know, Angel had to take, because we just came back from Clarence,
Yeah.
and she had to take tablets, and she's like, I need my vitamin D. And I was like, me too.
Every time I took a vitamin D tablet, she laughs like this.
So funny.
I actually must not forget
So
my vitamin D today. Okay, carry on, children.
It's, I was gonna say, so have you always like had a childish sense of humor? Have you always been the person to
Yeah.
be cracking jokes like amongst your friends?
Thing is, I've never been, in my opinion, I've never been the class clown. Like, my friends will say I'm funny from school and that kind of thing. But I've always been observational. I've always been in the background, and that's how I prefer to be. Like, in company, I'm not the loud. Like, now I've got confidence, and you should never give a comedian confidence.
No,
I feel like we shouldn't have it at all.
See, I don't have confidence, which
You
is why
see, that's a good
I've still
thing.
got a healthy sense of self, you know?
I have a healthy sense of self, and now I have confidence. I talk more. So I feel like it's a bad thing because I need to listen more.
Sure.
I used to listen way more. I used to observe way more, and that makes good comedy. Observing people more than just saying things.
Yeah, like the best comedians aren't necessarily on when they're not on stage. You know,
Yeah,
they're the
you
ones
see.
just chilling, like, you know, not really
That's the
engaging
thing.
with the comedy table and stuff like that.
I'm
you know, where
not-
everyone's
I'm not
cracking
on.
jokes. Like the people who tend to be really good are just chilling. Like,
Yeah.
But the other guys, the younger people, the newer acts are always like trying to like bounce jokes off each other and
But I
trying to
think
like
that's a confidence
position
thing. You
themselves.
see,
They're also peacocking, trying to be noticed. If you're newer, you have to try and... You feel like you have to try and
Yeah,
stand
exactly.
out. The
Yeah.
more established comics are like, well, you guys know I'm good. I'll just shut up.
yeah,
That-
like
there is
you
such
see
a big
when
difference when you say like that, the confidence thing. There is that line that you can tell, like where someone has a surety about what they do.
Exactly.
And in comedy, it's a rare line because there's lots of people who do this thing and are pretty good at it, but they still lack confidence almost on stage, and it
Bruh.
comes through.
One of my favorite comics ever, I won't name him, but he's my idol, and you can think as a colored girl who my idol would be. But he gets so nervous before he gets on stage. And you know what?
You
It
didn't
ma-
say Mark's name.
I'm not gonna say his name. But the thing is, it scares me, the fact that he's so nervous, but he uses it to push
Yeah,
himself.
that energy, that nervous energy becomes positive energy. when
Yeah,
you actually go on
because he's
stage.
like, I need to be better than everyone else. I need to do that. And then it's just like, I'm never gonna get rid of that feeling. Because I'm always like, yeah, one day I'm gonna get to the club and I'm gonna be chill. Instead of pacing up and down and stressing about whether people are gonna laugh or not.
But I don't know, I think that stress is probably a good thing. Like, I feel like if you don't have that, then you might be overconfident.
Yeah,
and
but the thing is, the day that I don't stress, I feel like is the day I'm gonna die.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have
Why
you-
am I not stressing?
Have you died a lot or no?
Yeah, I die all the time.
Okay.
I'm not.
I don't know, like you seem to be like this comedy prodigy, so I don't know, like some people die less than others.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot less than other people, but I mean, it's still death.
Well, when was the first time you died? Do you remember? Because like you came second in your first comedy competition. I assume. So actually, what was the process from there? So you did this competition for
And
the
then-
talent show.
Yeah, then I came second. Then Robin Feeden was like, you need to go to Armchair or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'll go, I'll see, whatever. So I went, and then shit happened in my personal life where I dropped out and I was extremely
varsity.
depressed. Yeah, I was extremely depressed. I got a job at Walton's and I was so miserable.
I think
And
anyone
then-
who follows you on Twitter knows you got a job at Walton's.
It's my favorite thing ever. I loved working at Walton's, but it's just the thought of that being my life for the rest of my life was just
Yeah,
was too much for
Because it'd be
me.
a bit stagnant if you stayed stationary.
Uh,
Yeah, didum.
You suck. Anyway, and then this girl messaged me on Twitter. She DM'd me and she's like, "Yo, I love your tweets. Have you heard of this place called Armchair? Because they still do comedy, and I saw you do comedy at the competition." Because she was also at Varsity with me. She's like, so if you're interested in doing comedy again, you should come to Armchair, because I know one of the guys who work there, Phil, and they were good friends. And then I was like, you know what, yeah, this is exactly what I need. And she's like, I'll come pick you up at your house even. You need to do comedy. You need to be on the stage. I was like, okay, cool. I don't know you, but I'll do it. It's fine. And now she's my best friend.
Who was it?
It's Tanika. You don't know her.
Okay.
But
Wait,
shout out to Nika Taste.
Does she do comedy?
No, she doesn't. She just loves comedy and she loves seeing people succeed.
Oh, we need I love people like that. We've
Yeah.
got a few of them in Durban, and they are the backbone of our audience.
Yeah, she loves and she understands it. Like she really understands it well. So yeah, she took me to my first gig, and then it went well. It went well, and then the first time I died was at the Box in Joburg.
You died at the Box.
Yeah, you see,
how?
You see, for those listening, you don't understand. The Box is like not the easiest room,
it's
but
pretty
it's
fucking
a
easy.
warm room.
It's
so
nice.
warm, and people are so. The thing what happened was, it was a little people, and the power cut out.
Okay, and you were also relatively still new to the game.
Yeah, it was.
so-
It was like a few months in. So I died.
Was that the same gig? I performed there with candles. Was that the same
Yeah,
one?
I think so,
Was
probably.
I there? I don't know. I don't remember.
You were wearing a March Simpson t-shirt.
Oh, so then I was there.
Yeah.
My sequin one.
Yes. Very bright t-shirt.
Yeah, 'cause-
You guys can see the t-shirt through the podcast.
No, it's Marge's hair, and the whole hair is blue.
But it's in
Blue
sequins.
sequins, yeah. The whole t-shirt is blue sequins.
Yeah, so that's the first time I ever died, and it was devastating.
That must have been devastating because you go to Joburg, you go to a room that's usually really dope.
I heard so much about the Box. I heard
Like,
so much.
everyone
Everyone's like, you're gonna love it.
It's
You're
the
gonna
best.
kill. That's gonna be your environment. And then I go and I die, and everybody was there. There
So
were
is-
more comics than audience members. They're kind of nice.
And did you have any buzz behind you at that point?
Yeah, I had a little
So
bit.
people came and were like, oh, we're going to watch her.
Yeah.
I've heard about her.
We're gonna see. I've heard so much about you. Like I got that before the gig as well. I've heard so much. I was excited to see what you do, and then I died. And then I walked straight out to the couches, and I cried. I cried so hard. And then I was on my phone googling to apply to universities
See
like
again.
UNISA or anything.
It's like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, this isn't my life.
I mean, there is that old saying, like, don't let the good gigs go to your head and don't let the bad ones go to your heart.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's the key because now you've obviously died and, had great shows, like, ever
Yeah, they
since.
balance out. My thing is, you could have 50 bad gigs and just that one great gig. You'll always chase
I
that.
don't know, if you have 50 bad gigs, you probably, like, if they're in a row, like, you've got a lot of persistence, I'll
Yeah.
say that. And
I don't get, that's what I admire about people who say they've been doing comedy for 6 years, 5 years, and they weren't that good, but they still kept going. I'm like, I wouldn't be able to have
I mean,
that.
I feel like I'm in that position where it's taken me a lot longer than someone like you. Like, but I'm dedicated to it and I'm working at it and I'm trying to learn the craft and like coming at it slightly more.
That kind of passion I admire the most, because it's just like, you have to push through so much
Yeah, I'm just a
bullshit.
bit pig-headed though. Like, that's the thing. I'm one of those people that just, regardless of what anyone else says or whatever, I'm just going to do the thing I want to do. And
Yeah.
like, maybe I'll be good at it, maybe I won't, but it's what I want to do. This is like when I used to skateboard. Like, I still could barely kickflip, but I did that for half my life. So,
Are you serious?
yeah.
That's impressive dedication.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know if that's dedication or just idiocy.
Well, it's-
I'm not sure.
It's weird because the things that I'm good at, I get bored with a lot of the time. So,
Oh, okay.
like, I guess it's just that thing of being challenged.
Maybe I'm just like, I enjoy a self-wank like that. Just, okay, all wanks are self.
Well, no, you can wank someone else off. Like,
You
that
can.
is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You
Us
haven't
wank.
learned that. You haven't learned it.
So yeah, you died at the box. You've now since with that week, did you go to Kitcheners or Puppies and did you like recover?
Yeah, the next night I was at Poppy's and then I got my redemption and then I was fine. But I'd still, that box will always be with me. It will always be the death
Have you
that I
gone?
carry with me.
Have you gone back there? Have you
To
killed?
the box?
since?
Yeah, I have, and it's fine. But I'm still, the box is still that room where I'm like, this bitch.
It's weird. Like, I love the box. I love Kitcheners. Those are like two of my favorite rooms. Like, in the
Kitcheners and
country.
Poppies, I do well. It's fine. But the thing is, when I do well, it's out of my mind. Because then, for me, I'm like, when I do well, that's my job. That's
Yeah.
what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to make people laugh. I'm not going to pat myself on the back for it.
Oh, I love you for saying that, because so many people like come off stage and go, "Oh, I killed," and like they've got this like big like thing about like doing well. And it's like, no, that's the point. Like,
Yeah,
that's what you're meant to.
like
be
it
doing.
feels good. I get it, especially like afterwards.
Oh, it's
but
such
I'm
a
like,
rush.
I'm not gonna keep it with me. It's not something like now. It's like, oh, what am I gonna do next? Who's my next gig? But like that death, it stays with me forever.
Yeah, some deaths definitely linger for a bit longer than they should. And like, I mean, I've had some times where it's just like, I should not be doing this. And then,
Always.
but the key is,
I've
like,
never met a comic who is just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this
Forever,
and it's the
yeah,
best
like-
thing ever.
I think
no,
the key,
comedy's
though,
a bitch.
the key is though to get back on stage as quickly as you possibly can. Like,
Yeah,
if you've
that's-
died, like you have to try.
That's
and
why
just-
I'm so glad, because right after the box, I did the next night poppies.
Yeah.
So it was fine, but still, I'm still angry.
How long have you been doing comedy for?
2 years.
Fuck off.
Can I just interrupt for a pause?
Sure.
Lindy, this card and this key are yours.
Okay,
They're the ones behind the two piles.
very cool.
This is just this card.
Did you get that like?
But don't lock if you leave because the cleaning lady's coming.
Did you get that key holder from like Vitamin Water at all? Did they send it to you?
Yeah, that was a free thing.
Yeah, they
We
sent
just-
me
Everything
the
in
Durban
this
one.
flat is free.
That branded stuff, yeah.
Alright, see you later.
Love you, bye.
Cool. Cheers. Where were we? I'm a stoner. This gets like so problematic for me sometimes.
2 years doing
2
comedy.
years.
Yeah.
Like, how does that feel to be like? Because so you now just got put on Trevor Noah's Nationwild, which I'm sure is a pretty big deal for you.
Yeah, it's massive.
And like,
Shout out to Trevor Noah.
like who was behind that though? Because I know it wasn't necessarily Trevor who picked all the comedians. It was one of the hardest, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it's Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan.
So, like, how did that come about? We could start there, I guess.
I have no idea actually. I think he just saw me perform, and as you can see, it's a demographic thing.
Well, yeah, it's represented like
Yeah,
across
South
Africa.
Africa. Yeah, so it was different. So I just think I was at the right place at the right time. So then he could see me and was like, okay, this is a colored girl.
So do you think you just got the colored girl spot?
Yeah, I just got the colored girl spot. How many other colored girls are there who are newcomers?
I mean, but it's not
I
just
got fucking lucky.
newcomers.
Let's be honest. I got lucky. Yes, I'm funny and I'm good at what I do, but I got lucky.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
that's everything in terms of being successful. Last one.
But
that-
quiet.
I don't think anyone who's successful at anything would ever say that they didn't get lucky.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so
But
much luck
there's
is
a
involved.
massive amount of luck and privilege to be able to do what I do.
Yeah.
And because a lot of girls of color who don't do comedy but are funny don't do it because they don't have the privilege to. They don't have the people who come pick them up at their houses in Paul and take them to armchair, and friends who let them stay in their houses in the middle of CBD. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, these are just the kind of things that happen to be in my favor.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also because you've got that talent and people saw it and recognized it, and
That's also true.
like,
But it's also like the
but
people
other
in the
people
life
have
spaces.
talent as well, don't necessarily
Exactly.
get-
That's the thing where I tried to. I tried once on Twitter, and then I got so many influx of messages and DMs, and it's just. It
Hard
seems
to
like
help everyone.
it's self pity when I say, because it's hard for me to fathom that I'm the one that got picked for Nationwild. It's hard for me to fathom that I get to do this for
Well,
the
it's
rest of
not
my
just
life.
you. There were like 12 other people. Or
No, I'm one of them. But it's just my entire life that I get to have this life
Yeah,
compared to how many funny women there are who don't get this life.
but do you not see the potential that because you get to live this life, that it opens doors for other people?
Yes,
that
it does.
by you being represented, or you know, you're representing, you know.
No,
colored
it definitely
women, like, in a way.
does.
Because also, I mean, coloured men have been represented throughout South African comedy for the last 20-something years.
Yeah.
But coloured women haven't really. Like,
Not at all. We have like 3 of us.
still, to this day.
Yeah, like including myself. And like Tracy Lee Oliver, she dabbles as well. So it's like 4 of us.
So yeah, it's not a big audience, but do you think
Yeah.
with you doing well that it's going to inspire others, or is that a part of why you do it at all, or is it just a thing of I'm just doing my thing and if it does help others, that's dope?
Yeah, it's the latter. Like if I do the thing, but it's also I'm extremely conscious of what I say and what I do and how I act to make sure people understand that this is me.
Yeah.
This is not colored woman. This is me. But I also understand
do
that I
people
don't.
want you to speak for colored women sometimes.
I think people see, because we're such a small group in South Africa, what they see on stage is the only woman they see
Yeah.
outside of the stereotype.
Yeah.
So when I get on stage, they expect this, because I used to have this joke about the Swirl Coast. I don't know, it's on Nationwild. And I was so... It had nothing to do with the Swirl Coast. It had nothing to do with hair or violence or any of the usual things. But I was just so extremely conscious of telling a joke like that, because I was like, it could so easily turn into something that it's not, and then I'm just then I'm easily adding to the stereotypes again.
I guess, and also, I mean, I don't want to stereotype stuff, but do you ever worry about, it's such a shitty question to ask, but the whole PC thing, like how people get like, some comedians are just like, people are too woke, and others are like, no, look, it's a good thing that people are starting to, think about these things.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, but also in my heart, I'm like, funny is funny.
Yeah.
Like, funny will always be funny to me first, and then I'm like, okay, is this wrong? Is this right? Who am I offending? What am I doing? If I'm offending a white man, I'm not gonna care that much.
Yeah, the power dynamics at play there aren't exactly...
Yeah, I'm not, obviously... I won't ever make fun of women. Ever. I don't do it because I make fun of myself, but it's not something that's in me to be like, yeah, women do this thing. Because I don't experience women in that aspect.
Yeah.
So I make fun of men in that way because I experience them. They're fucking clowns. They're very easy.
Yeah, but we don't see it, which is also like...
Exactly. I get a lot of complaints when I make fun of men.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, we have, like, soft egos, like, a lot of the time.
Yeah, but they do it in a way that they think they're being subtle. I don't think they realize what they're saying to me when they say it. Because then they're like, yeah, no, but, like, that joke wasn't very funny. I'm like, I don't think so. I know what's funny.
Did you hear everyone else laughing?
Yeah, like, did you see? My thing is, did you look at the woman sitting next to you and see her laughing? Because that's who I make jokes for, a woman of color. And then the rest of you are just lumped in. Like, you're just lucky to be there.
If you get the jokes, you get the jokes.
Yeah, like... But that's the thing. Because they don't understand what they're saying to me when they say, that joke wasn't funny. Because now you're attacking me as a person as well as a comic.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, first of all, that was funny. Don't tell me what's funny. And second of all, you're being sensitive. And I hate calling people sensitive. But men are so sensitive.
And it's just like, wow, you're going to... It's funny, though, that, like... White dudes tend to moan a lot more.
Yeah, like they have the confidence to say something like that to me and not realize you don't have the authority. In this domain, I am the authority and you answer to me.
So is that how you... But do you feel that you've got authority when you're on stage?
Yes, I do. I control the room when I'm on stage. It's a massive power. For a colored girl who usually is... Especially, I don't know if you guys understand this, but as a fat colored girl... I'm usually nobody. I'm invisible to people in a room. I don't know. I take up so much space, but I'm still invisible.
I can understand that, yeah.
Yeah, because men just don't acknowledge me, and women are just there because they happen to find out I'm funny, and then I'm like the fat, funny friend. And then I'm just like, I cut myself off from both. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'm just in the room. That's why I just happen to be observational because of the way I look.
So growing up, were you quieter? Or?
Yeah, I was. I tried to be the fat funny friend, and then I realized the attention that I'm getting is not positive attention because, like, my family made me aware of that. My mother was like, are they laughing with you or are they laughing at you? You need to understand why these people are friends with you.
So that's obviously why you consider your stuff in terms of even just the stereotypes and that you're projecting on stage. Like you want to make sure that you're not projecting the wrong thing or something that can give someone power against you.
That's the thing. I don't... Because I know what it's like to be laughed at. And I never want anybody to feel that way.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. I don't want people to sit there and go like, oh, that joke is about me. Even though when I go to shows and people make jokes about fat people or colored women, then I laugh the loudest. Because I resonate with it and I think it's funny. But then I don't ever want to do it to other people. I know that's not my thing.
But would you make fat jokes or anything like that?
I do make fat jokes.
Okay.
I make fat jokes in such a particular way that it's just me. Like it's just
you're making fun
about,
of yourself.
Yeah, and I happen to be fat. You know what I mean?
And if other people resonate or relate to that, it's
Yeah.
like their own thing.
But I want it to be very clear that I'm talking about myself.
Okay, and then we're chatting about Nationwild a little bit. Like, what was that gig like? Like, what was the whole experience like? But that's also the thing. Like, you've just had lots of dope gigs. Who have you opened for? Like, that's like a name or names.
No one's ever asked me to open for them, eh?
What? Okay, but also the secret's to ask. Like you just.
Yeah, it is an asking thing, and I want to be asked.
Yeah, this is probably what my comedy career is not where like I feel it should be. It's because I've been like the same way, but you at least do get asked because you've got a bit more talent. So.
No, the thing is, I did the competition, and that gave me a bit of clout.
Yep. Which competition?
The Show Apple competition, and then I won that.
Was that probably for Savannah?
Yes, yeah. And the show at Cape Town Comedy Club, and I was like the first woman to ever win. And then that gave me a bit of clout. And then after that, then I did well. What other dope gigs have I done? You see, this is the thing.
You've done lots though, haven't you?
The good gigs aren't in my mind at all. I can tell you all my bad gigs. This one, there, I died there, at Premium. I died all the great gigs there. Really? Hanover Street, Premium, The Box. Those are the places I died.
But Armchair you kill. Like
not actually, Armchair I don't do that well.
Armchair on Sundays can be
Do you know where I do really well? Cape Town Comedy Club.
And is that different to most people? Because I've heard it can be a hard room because
it's not an easy room. And the first time I played, I didn't do that well. But then everyone else was like, "That's good. That's very good." I was like, oh, "Have you guys heard laughter?"
What's the difference between like working Cape Town Comedy Club and other clubs in Cape Town?
I have no idea. Thing is. You know when you do well in a room, then you go in there confident.
Yep.
Then you have this cocky air about you. So then now I know I do well. So now I just...
It's almost like self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, like it's just... you see, that's the thing. It's a placebo effect because you're like, it's happened, so it's going to happen again.
This is like, every time I leave Durban, like, I've literally never died, like, outside of Durban. But in Durban, I can have the hardest gigs, like, all the time.
I've heard some things about Durban, that's why I'm just like, oh.
Oh, no, Next Gen is amazing. You're doing the Next Gen.
No, I'm not.
No, aren't you?
I was not asked.
Yet. Maybe Carvin just thinks you're too big, like, you know, for, like, at this stage, because a lot of the acts that he's bringing Keenan up. Well, I'm dating this. I'm such a fucking bad podcaster. I keep, like, saying stuff that's happening, like, this weekend, when, like, this podcast is probably going to come out in, like, 3 or 4 weeks, so it's like... But yeah, Keenan's going to be up at next year. I'm probably going to try to chat to him. But yeah, also just send Carvin a message. Say you want to come to Durban.
Oh, I should ask Carvin because he's such a nice person. And I've heard so many good things, but I'm just so scared. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the one.
Are you looking at getting a manager at all? Or like a booking agent or something like that? Are you thinking, like, are you nearing that point in your career?
I think I have one actually, but I will.
What do you mean you think you have one?
I have one, but I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Has it helped though?
It's not up yet.
Okay. So you're working on that side of things?
Yeah, we're working on that, and I still have to sign a contract, and I want to read the things first.
Is that daunting?
It is daunting. It just feels like I don't want to sign my life away to someone.
Yeah.
Like, the way I've done things, but also I know this person only has good interests. So that helps. It's someone I trust. So we'll see. I don't want to talk about this. Bob, stop.
Okay. We don't have to talk about that. No, it's just for me, like, it's an interesting thing to see someone in your position because it has, like, only been 2 years and you have risen so quickly in that. So, like, a part of me is like, you know, what are the steps that you now take? Because, you know, a lot of people in about 3 years from where you are would be in your position, you know, people in 5 years in would be in your position now, and they would be looking at stuff like managers and booking agents and stuff like that. So that's why I was wondering if it's a thing that you were going through.
Because a lot of people ask me, what's your next step? What is your next move? What are the goals you set for yourself? And I think it's always, my goal is to do this forever. That's my only goal. And people don't understand, outside of comedy, they don't understand what a profound thing it is to say, I want to do stand-up comedy forever. To have a long career, you have to grind like a motherfucker. And they don't understand that. Like, I'm working towards working for the rest of my life. That's it.
And the cool thing about comedy is one of those things you can do for the rest of your life. Like, you look at all the greats, they kind of got, like, their best, like, the later they got, the older they got. I mean, I just look at George Carlin, like, personally, and I'm just like, that dude, like, was doing shows when he was in his 60s and 70s, Rodney Dangerfield, same thing, like, and they were fucking hilarious, because by that point, you've got that shit on lock, like, you've been doing this thing.
Well, there's just so many elements that scare me, things that shouldn't scare me, like drugs, because there's so many comics that...
cocaine, cocaine is definitely a thing. I mean, I don't know how it is. It's not in the Durban scene at all, but I know, like, in Josie and stuff, like, when I go there, like, it comes out a bit more. And
is it?
Yeah.
I think I would scream if I had to see cocaine in Durban. I would. I'm not a drug person. I drink alcohol, like, every now and then it's just, like, 2 beers, that's it. Like, I'm not a...
Because the scene,
substance.
can be like that.
It can be, but I'm always... You know, I know where I got some self-confidence when I got extremely, extremely drunk after Comics Choice. And
Which one? Last year?
This year.
This year, okay.
I got very, very drunk. And then...
You won a Comics Choice Award?
No,
I
haven't. Thanks for bringing that up,
Bob.
Bob.
Sorry, the second place.
I was just... Again.
A nomination's as good as a win.
No, it's not. That's what you tell losers.
Well, you have to, because you don't tell the winner that.
Yeah,
you're not going to be like, a win's as good as a nomination.
But but I was very happy with the group that I was nominated with.
Yeah, it seemed like a pretty solid, and it seemed accurate.
Yeah, it was. That's the thing. I just wanted to be accurate. I want the person who won deserves to win. That's all I wanted. You know, I wanted a very fair thing.
But in a weird way, like, Nationwild kind of seems like that thing for a bunch of people, like, where it's like, that's almost in its own way like an award, you know, for like, like newish comers. I mean, there's people that have been like 2 to 5 years, right? Most of those acts and that. So, and that is like a cool reward for people that put in a lot of work and like, and how was that class in general? The people that you went up with? Well, I say class because it does feel like that. It feels like you're like a graduating class, like together.
We still have our WhatsApp group.
Is it all of you together?
Yeah, like, and then like Ryan and Natasha, the people who organized this.
I assume it was pretty scary though.
It was, you know, I was so... It's again a thing where I was like, it felt like every nerve in my body was on fire.
Because it's going to be on TV. Like,
yeah.
This is the one that goes...
But
this
it also,
is the set
like,
that goes
it was
up
the
forever.
Lurk Theatre. It was the biggest audience I've ever had. Oh, I did Baxter. Yeah.
Yes.
Funny Festival. Yeah, I knew you did something.
How did that go?
That was dope.
Okay.
That was dope. Because I did it like for 4 weeks.
Like, just every night?
Yes.
Fuck, that's the dream, hey? Like, that is the dream. Like,
that was...
That
was an amazing gig. To play that room every night. And then the first gig after that, you have to like play armchair or something. then your ego is restored. And that's what I like about comedy, because it will always humble you.
Yep.
You can never be, unless you constantly play one-mans and then constantly play...
You've got a big audience and stuff. I mean, hey, people can go off the rails with their egos, like, once they get too successful.
But the thing is, as long as you're conscious of something, it'll always be in check.
Yeah.
So I'm always conscious of... Oh, this is what I was saying about the drugs. So I got extremely drunk after Comics Choice. And then this girl we were partying with, actually Denise Naidu, she was passing around tablets, headache tablets. So that our hangovers won't be that bad. And I heard her say that...
Well, alcohol with paracetamol is such a bad idea. But anyway.
I don't know, but it worked for her. So she was like, yeah, you guys should take this. And headache tablets, and she was passing it. I heard her say it's for headache, hangover tomorrow morning. And then I got the tablet in front of me, and I was like, no. Because I smacked it out of her hand. Because in my mind, in that second, I was like, this is ecstasy. And I've never seen ecstasy in my life. But in that second, I was like, this is ecstasy. Say no to drugs.
See, I would way quicker take ecstasy with alcohol than I would take like a headache tablet with alcohol. But that's just my own personal hang-ups. And also risk reward there. Like, one of those things is definitely gonna work. The other might make you feel like shit. Like, and
I felt like shit regardless. So
well, that's because of the alcohol. I found the only trick for that is drink water. Like, just
that's what I do. Because it's just I cannot handle hangover. That's why I don't drink that much. because I cannot. It feels like my brain is wearing a G-string. I just cannot.
Oh, you come up with some of the most amazing imagery. That's actually what I love about your stuff. Like you're referencing, and like your imagery is so unique and so clear, if that makes sense. Like you can like literally picture like the things you're talking about. And is that something you're intentionally working on, or does that come naturally to you? Like,
it comes naturally.
Like, so like the thing that you put down, like the tweet that I see, like how long does it take like for you to like come up with like some of those tweets?
It depends. Like it's something like I'm always like, this is like, because I'll see something and then I'm like, what is that like?
Yeah.
And then it takes me a few tries to get to what it's like.
Okay.
But because Twitter moves so fast, nobody ever sees my tries.
Yeah.
Because there's some things where I'm like, this is like that. Or, you know what I used to do a lot? Where I'm like, men who say, call me Johnson. Because I have a massive issue with men who call me Johnson. Because then they degender me.
Okay.
But you can't say that because it's not funny. Because they don't see, because I can't say, yeah, men who call me Johnson degender me. They don't see me as a woman anymore.
Because
so
then
Johnson's
a penis?
Yeah, that's what I say, Johns. My surname is a euphemism for penis.
Yeah.
But then it was, for me, the whole thing was men degender me, and then they start speaking to me in a way that I don't like. Then they talk about other women, they talk about their own lives in a way that I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with this. If you saw me as a lady, you wouldn't do
say
that.
those things.
So now, that was my issue, and then I needed to make it funny. So then I was like, men who... Yeah, you don't have to call me Johnson. I know you played first team at rugby at high school. And then my other try was men who call me Johnson still wear the matric jackets and they're 35. So these are the tries I had to get before it got really funny.
So I mean that's just standard joke writing, I guess.
You get the point, the focal point, and then you try and work around it.
What would you say your comedy style is? I mean, it seems to be one-liner-esque from...
No, it's not.
It's because of,
it's punchy.
on Twitter, yeah.
It's very punchy.
Oh, yeah, this is weird. Altaf and I were having this conversation yesterday, like the difference between one-liners and punchy.
Yeah. Punchy story.
Yeah.
Short stories.
So you tell stories and then you just lots of punch
I put you there and then I punch. So, yeah. So it's very short stories. It's about my life. It's a self-wank. It's so narcissistic. Everything about my set is about me. And now it revolves like how I have to use public transport, how it was working.
That's relatable.
Yeah, it's relatable, but it's still about me.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, that makes your jokes like almost unstealable.
But it's real.
Yeah, it's real, so people can relate to you. And at the end of the day, that is, I think, what audiences want more and more is to be able to identify with someone. So if you're talking about the same things that they go through, even though you're doing it personalized, they're still going to relate to that. If you talk about how cuck it is to take fucking taxis and the goddamn train that like is literally always on fire, I mean, people are going to relate to that. So,
but it's also nice for the people in the audience because this one night I had someone who I always saw on the train, but we never spoke. This guy, we never ever spoke, but I recognized his face and whatever. So then I saw him in the crowd at Cape Town Comedy Club, and then afterwards he was like, it's so nice to have my thoughts vocalized. Is everything okay?
Yeah. No, I was just checking the time. Yeah, no.
And he was like, it's so nice, and I was like, I'm not the only one who thinks this, and that's cool.
But that is the joy of comedy. That's what I love more than making people laugh, which is super fun and like you get used to that, that kind of thing. It's like I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna pause a little bit, I'm gonna say this, you're gonna laugh, and then it's like. Yeah. But when people come up afterwards and go like, I never thought of it that way, or I've always thought of something like that, and like I've never heard it said that way.
Yeah.
That for me is just like the moment that like.
What
feels
I
the
admired about comedy because I watched a fuck ton of comedy before I started comedy.
So growing up, was it a thing that you were like? Did you have it in the back of your mind? Like, I wish I could try that, but I never could?
No, the thing is, maybe when I was like in high school and I saw local comedy. But then, before that, in primary school was my dad, because my dad loved Kings of Comedy. Like,
I've still got that DVD.
Yeah, like, he loved Steve Harvey. Bernie Mac was my dad. Like, yeah. I'm so glad he died after my dad, because my dad would have been devastated. But he loved those. Yeah, he loved those older guys, and then And then I also loved them. And then when he realized, because my brothers aren't interested in comedy. My brothers are that typical colored guy humor, which is just like Facebook humor. I love them a lot, but it's just...
What do they think of your sense of humor? Do they like give you shit, or they like, you're not that funny, or like...
No!
do they roast you, or, like...
You know my younger brother Alan, he always, when I make a joke at home, and it's not that good, and he's like... Need stage time. At least he's
honest with you. That you need that.
Yeah. But I love how accurate it is. It's a good thing to say. It's not like that's a shit joke. Please don't ever talk to me again. It's just always, you need stage time.
Sometimes taking a shit joke on stage, you can figure out how to make it better.
Yeah, that's what I love about comedy. Just rediscovering something. Because you get so stuck in doing the same set.
Yeah.
And then I always challenge myself. I need to do at least this different, and a new joke.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I can't do the same. Like, I struggle because I get really bored if I do the same set. Like, even 2 nights in a row. Even on the same night. Like, I have to try... Like, I'll have usually the same opener and maybe second joke. And then the rest of the set will be different. Like, if I'm performing with...
Like, I do this last few weeks, I've been doing the same set. Like, it's my Nationwild set as well. But I'm adding in different things. Are you worried about that,
though? Because
yes, I am. I'm extremely stressed about it. And it's just, I cannot think of new jokes. So this might be my peak, guys. You met me at my best.
I'm glad we got this now. Not in like 3 years' time when you've been like, actually, you know those drugs things?
Yeah. Great. Nobody told me about weed.
No, I think everyone's talking about weed. It's the other ones that you're going to stick the fuck away from.
I'm not even like a weed smoker. Like, if it comes out, I'll take a puff. But it's not something I'll take out of my own.
Yeah,
I need to go buy some.
It's definitely my crutch.
It's your brand. It's not even it's your brand.
Which is a worrying thing. You can't make your brand like destructive things. Although, you know, Jim Jeffries made drinking like his fucking brand, and you know, it's worked out alright for him. So he does like entire shows. Quite a few comedians actually back in the day used to do that a lot. Like literally just get drunk whilst doing like their one man shows.
I don't like that at all.
But I mean, if you can be funny, like...
Yeah, but it's just...
Do you think it's disrespectful to the audience?
No, it's not that at all. It's just always in my mind. Because I think it's my parents play because they're always in my head. Because it's just like, you cannot be a colored woman and drunk. In public, you cannot be a drunk colored woman ever. Like, my mother has never had alcohol in her life. Like my dad also, he never had alcohol in his life.
Is that because of the stereotypes around it? Like, because I mean,
it was a lot of factors. Because they're also like very church going people, very Christian, conservative. So it was that, and they were also like woke. Before it was woke, so just like, you know what happens to our people on farms, we can't indulge in this and that kind of thing. And they were like,
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, like it was. That's the thing with people, like, when they hear my dad was a pastor and we were very involved in the church. I understand we're like, you know what?
So your dad was a pastor. Do you think that impacted you getting on stage at all?
Yes.
Like, did you learn from him, like, on stage?
Yes, I did, because he was a very charismatic man on stage.
I mean, you have to be a pastor.
Yeah, like you have
you're
to
literally
be charismatic.
you're going to have like 3 people at church and your church is going to close down if you're not a charismatic
but
pastor.
Also, his dad was a pastor and my great-granddad was also a pastor.
So in a weird way, you carried on the family tradition.
Yeah. It's so
I see so many similarities between pastors and comedians.
Me too. I also see it. And like Mark Lottering has also said, like, we have a congregation and we are preaching to them.
Yep.
We are doing the same thing pastors do because we're relieving.
Pastors have jokes.
Yeah, they're not good ones, but I love their jokes actually, and I love being in church as well. But I understand when people are like, they have bad memories of church, but I don't have that. But I also let people go off.
Yeah.
Like, you have your experience and it's valid, but I also have my experience and it's also valid. I loved going to church. I love my parents because they never forced me on anything. They were just like, this is the way we live. We're very happy. You can join in. Or you can not join in and be miserable. We don't care.
Does your mom ever get like bummed about some of your jokes? Because like I've seen you tweet about it a bit. And, like,
yeah.
You've got some dirty jokes and you've got like...
Yeah, she's just like the porn and the sex jokes. Yeah, she's just said she's going to pray for me. She calls it a bitsak. It's a bitsak, which means it's a prayer situation. That's direct translation. It's a point of prayer.
So do you think if your material starts changing, where you start getting like this will to not do those jokes, that the prayers would have worked?
Thing is, because it's my mother and I respect her so much, I try to stay away from things she wouldn't like.
Yeah, it's...
But I mean, funny is funny again. Like, if it's funny, I will make a joke about it. But I want to move away from talking about porn. I want to move away from talking about sex. Just to explore that side of me. Because I feel like I have a voice. I have something to say. I have a lot of opinions on
So you want
things
to
that
dig into
aren't...
deeper things.
Yeah, I want to go into deeper things. Like, I've made so many of my issues in my real life funny. I can do it on stage.
Yeah. And do you want to tackle, stuff like politics and stuff like that, or is it still just forever going to be a personal...
I would. There's no topic where I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
But what would you do if you wanted to do that? Would you sit down and go, I want to write jokes about politics now, and then you sit down?
I've written a few jokes about the DA. Which... because I hate them, and they're a shit party, you don't work for colored people.
Amen.
And, you're wearing blue.
I'm wearing blue pants. My God. I've literally never voted DA in my life.
No, but the thing is, I've written a few jokes about the DA, which obviously do very well in Cape Town.
Really? Well,
No, it doesn't.
No, I'm saying because you're like I said, really, because I've heard the inflection there. Like, I would expect that you could still get like good laughs out of it.
I do, yeah. Like, I got this one joke, one of my new jokes, which does really well. But for me, it's always like, did it not get a good laugh because it's Cape Town, or did it not get a good laugh because it's not funny?
Okay, well then try the joke in another city.
Yeah, that's the thing. I always try it a different way.
Yeah, that's the thing you got to do all the time is just try different cadence,
Yeah.
try different, like even just switching words around, or like I find sometimes you don't actually have the punchline at the end. Sometimes you can, like, not you, I just mean as comedians.
Yeah,
you can
general
sometimes have like the punchline in the middle. Like if you just flip like the two words around, or like the
Yeah.
like you can get.
Comedy is so specific.
Yeah.
But then, like, last night, this is the thing I love about comedy so much.
Where were you last night?
Armchair, and then
Okay.
before that, Roxy's in Woodstock. Not the one in town.
Okay.
I was waiting in town.
You were waiting in town? What do you mean?
I was waiting at the town because there's a Roxy's in town.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a Roxy's in Woodstock.
So we were at the wrong one.
I was the one in town, and then everybody made fun of me, but it's fine. Still, I rise. And then afterwards, this is my favorite thing about comedy, because all the comedians, it doesn't matter where they are in their careers, they're always so eager to help you if
Yep.
you ask for it.
Yep.
Because no comic is gonna just come up to you unless they know you well enough. Because like there are comics that I'm brassy with, and they all be like, "Yo, you know that joke? Maybe do this, do that. That's fine." But if you ask for it, they also like, "Yeah, maybe you should do this." And last night Robbie was like, "You should prolong your jokes, because you can get more out of the jokes because you're so punchy."
And he's good with that.
Yeah, like he's so good with just extending his things.
Yeah, he loves when he's got some time, he'll use it. Like,
Exactly. And I want to be on stage for much longer because I find my time is always so...
How long are your sets these days? Do you get like the 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
15, yeah.
Oh, 15
like,
solid though. Do you want even longer though?
Yeah, I want to go to a full 30. I want a headline. I want the headlines, because I've always been that, okay, I did 5 minutes, now I need to do support, now I'm going to get 15, now I'm going to do headlines. So that's what I'm working towards.
And then from headline, one woman shows.
Yeah.
And then from there, overseas?
Yeah, I want to do overseas next year. Hopefully.
Next year?
I'm
Damn,
thinking.
where do you want to go?
I was thinking Netherlands, Amsterdam.
Oh, snap. Cool.
Yeah,
How come?
London. I don't know.
You just want to go to those places?
Yeah, that's where I see myself. So
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had my heart set on that since the beginning of this year. So now I know, because when I have my heart set on something, I know I'm
You
gonna
can
get
make it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna do anything to make it happen.
For me, I want to do the Edinburgh Fringe next year. That's a big goal
Yeah.
of mine. Not even to perform, just to go. Like, just to, between now and then, make enough money to be able to afford to go there. Because for my festival, for the Heat City Comedy Festival, I want to try and, expand it, like become a bit more international over the next
It's
few
a dope
years.
festival. I've heard great things about the comedy festival.
It's small still, but it's growing.
Yeah, but I
Really
mean,
nice
that's
things.
how all festivals started. Clarence is also quite small.
Yeah, I
that's
want
just
to
go back
do. See,
to
that's the
me.
thing. I want to do Clarence. I need to actually hit up.
Robin.
Yeah, and see if maybe.
And
I
he's
can
such a
jump in
great
next year.
guy.
He is, and he's.
I need to give him a shout out because he bought 2 tickets to my show
Aw,
just for me to give away, and I thought it was quite sweet. And now he's like, if you need any help with a gig.
But he seems very dedicated to that. I mean, like, just even with the comedy con thing and like,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that like, I see that he's doing behind the scenes, he seems to be very instrumental.
I find it so strange that he's so dedicated to comedy in that sense when he was a comic. Like, he started comedy, and I was like, it's so strange because I could never put myself there. I could never be an organizer.
Because do you think, like, if it didn't quite work out for you, if you got to that point where you're like, you know what, I can't be a comedian. I'm not, like, you know, I don't know why he stopped or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I find him to be quite funny. But yeah, so you would just be like, I can't ever see comedy again.
Yeah, it would be a breakup.
Yeah, I feel the same. Like, I definitely think, like, if I had to stop doing comedy, I wouldn't carry on organizing stuff. Cause
Never.
That would be, it would be
Never.
too painful. Like, and it would just be
It's
like...
so painful.
But the
Just
people-
thinking about
different
comedy
egos.
now and I'm involved in it, I'm like, oh, I'm in pain. Comedy is a heartbreaker in ways that people don't understand. Like, your heart is just constantly broken because
Yeah.
it's just like, there's so many places I need to be that I'm not, and I haven't done enough, and like...
I hate that you're saying all this. You've only been doing it for 2 years and you've done so much. like, you know, I get those things because I've been doing this for a while.
No, but I feel like everybody should be like that person where you like, I haven't done enough, I need to do way more.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you there, but I don't like comparing myself to other people. That's the one thing that I
No, I could
continually
never.
try to
I
like,
did that
remind myself not to do.
I did that for a little while last year at this competition with someone, and it's just not. For me, I've never been a competitive person ever my entire life.
I'm incredibly competitive, but comedy is the one thing where I'm like, if you're competitive in this, you're gonna fuck everything up for yourself and other people. So just chill.
It was for like maybe a month or like a week, and I was just like, it was so heartbreaking because I was constantly checking their page. Oh, they're doing
How
this.
many numbers they got? They got these
Yeah.
many gigs.
And like, how many followers do they have? I only have this many followers, but I have more Twitter followers. But Twitter doesn't count.
Oh, you're speaking to so many comedians right now. You know, I think so many people, like, if they're comedians listening to us right now going, yep, yep, I've been there.
But
You don't
I-
have those people, you not even just one person, you look at other comedians in general, and you're
Yeah.
like, fuck. Even
But
this
I only had the
Nationwild
one
thing,
person,
like,
yeah.
was, I think for a lot of people, I mean, myself included, was like one of those things where it was like a small little pain where it's like, fuck, I wish that was me. But at
Yeah.
the same time, it's like, fuck yeah, this is happening.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we need this. We've
Yeah.
needed this for so long because it's been since like Mnet put like their things like maybe like 15, 20 years ago. Like they recorded a bunch of stuff. Like I think it was John Flismus and Luisa Gorla and stuff like that. And you know they had that on Mnet and like you know that was cool. And you had the Pure Minati show and you had like.
Yeah.
But since then, I mean,
Do you know
yes,
what I'm
there's
really
Bantu
angry
Hour,
about?
Alanin,
I
but-
love the Bantu Hour.
Yeah.
But like, the SPC doesn't give it time. It doesn't give it the time of day at all. Because how can you put it on a Friday night?
But the online stuff's really cool though. That's what's
Yeah,
cool.
it's
They
dope,
put it
but I
on
mean-
YouTube a lot, which is dope.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, we deserve it on TV.
Yeah, and it should be on
Everybody
Friday.
deserves.
Like,
Not just people who have access to data. Who has access to enough data to YouTube
yeah,
shit?
it makes it more inaccessible.
Like, we only got Wi-Fi at our house like last year.
I still don't have Wi-Fi,
You
but
see,
I use my phone, so that's. a whole
we have
different
Wi-Fi
story.
and we have 4 incomes. 3 incomes. I don't really count. Like
Really?
this,
Like, are you not living off comedy at the moment?
I am, but I mean, I'm not.
That's more than most people.
But I'm still like bunking at other people's houses. I'm basically like a fancy baby.
Yeah. Hey, when I travel, I'm fully on the couch or something. Like now, I'm staying with Paul
Me
Cowan.
too.
Like,
Yeah, me too. But I mean, like, I feel so bad about it.
No, don't. I mean, that's part of the creative community. I mean, bands have been crashing on my couch since I was a teenager. And like,
But that's the thing, because I don't have anything to return, because nobody wants to crash in fucking Paul.
but if there's gigs in Paul, they're gonna need it.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody's gonna crash here for the night when they can drive back to Cape Town.
Okay. I mean, I don't really know the distances and stuff, but for me,
It's
like,
like 45 minutes.
yeah,
I mean,
see, fuck that. I wouldn't fucking drive back. Like, I would chill with you. Like, that makes so much more sense. Because
Well-
also, I probably would have had a few drinks, so I'm not going to... Also, I don't have a license, so... There's so many things here about why I'm not
Don't you
going
have
to
a
drive.
license?
No, I failed it a few times, and then
Oh,
my
I also
car
don't have
got
a
stolen.
license. Twinsies.
Yeah, my car got stolen, and then I was just like, well, I'm over this now. And then, well, my first car got stolen, my second car, I just fucked it up by not putting water in the radiator. And on the way
Okay,
to
so you're just irresponsible. I'm just lazy.
Okay, mom.
Oh, I'm also lazy. That's why I don't have my license but I've also never had the money to get a driving school and that kind of
That's
thing.
been the big problem. Is even now, like, it's like, fuck, if I need to do this again, that's like $3,000, like, at least. And it's like,
People don't understand how expensive it is. And also, I put everything into my next gig.
yeah.
Like, how am I gonna get to my next gig? How am I gonna pay for that?
Luis Agola doesn't have his license.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't drive.
Neither does Robbie Collins. I feel so important.
See, there you go. You're on the level with some greats. Luis, Robbie, me. This is, going so well.
We're all the same.
Our careers are all pretty much the exact same.
I hope they never listen to this, please.
I don't think Luis Agola listens to like stuff like this. No.
Yeah.
I don't think he even listens to stuff he's on. So
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Do you review have you watched the Nationwild thing? Like, did you?
I've watched other people's. I've watched myself, the performance. Because for me to watch a performance is so easy. But to watch interviews, I hate it. I don't even read interviews I'm in. I don't like it.
Yeah, there's only been one interview that someone did with me that I really enjoyed, and then a lot. I don't read interviews or stuff, but that's what I hate about this is I have to edit this fucking thing, so I have to listen to the whole thing, and I'm just like, ugh. And I'm also like, I could edit that out, but a part of me is like, I want to be honest, so I'm just like, it's called the Almost Perfect Podcast. If you just start making it too perfect, then it defeats
not
the
gonna
whole
work.
point.
Oh, can I just tell you, this is so random, but I tweeted something and I got shouted at by an extremely woke person. Because my tweet was, I tied my cousin's 4-year-old shoelaces, and when I asked her to say thank you, she started crying because she's tired of thank yous. And then I said, toddlers are made up of tomato sauce and disrespect entirely.
Yeah, I saw that.
Then this lady said,
The tomato sauce was a bit of a weird one, but I get that.
because all they eat is fucking tomato sauce.
But you could have gone with sweets and people might have been more... just because sweets is standard. That's what I like about you, though, is that you didn't go with, the standard, fizzes or this, that.
Yeah.
Because most people wouldn't go with tomato sauce, but when you said it, it's like, yes.
Yeah.
I just imagine a kid with a hot dog, covered in, tomato sauce.
That's the thing when I started comedy, because I was so self-conscious because I don't sound like anybody.
Yeah.
Like,
but
I don't...
Your strength.
Yeah, that's the thing. And now I'm like, I don't want to lose it. But now this lady was like, why does she have to say thank you, though? That's silly. Why do people make all these demands of kids instead of just, I don't know, taking care of them because they're kids? Why do you need to be thanked for every little thing you do for dependents? And I'm just like...
Yeah, her kid's a fucking brat.
Yeah,
straight up.
My thing is, I get teaching your children independence. I get that. I get
But also
making
teach them
them...
manners.
Making them aware of who they are. But manners...
Yeah, being grateful for something.
And when someone does something for you, you say thank you.
Yes, because you're showing gratitude. You're
Exactly.
expressing, because that person, yes, you're a kid, but you didn't have to do that thing for the kid.
Yeah.
By the way, the kid
Like,
should say
yeah,
thank
I'm
you.
supposed to do stuff for my cousins for... I know I am. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are people who aren't. But also, it's not just that thing. It's not just about the laces and how she can't do it herself. I have to do it for her. But there are other things that people don't have to do for her. And she can say thank you. Nobody wants to be that adult who doesn't say thank you.
Yeah, well, I wonder actually, those people actually tend to be annoyingly successful.
Yeah.
Because they're dickheads and they're just
Exactly. But
it's the
people
same
find
with
it
people who
endearing.
don't apologize.
Yeah.
But when kids don't, it's endearing, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm like, but also...
It's just a joke!
It's just a joke. It's just, I found it funny. I didn't scream at her. Like, she's acting like I held her until she said thank you.
There's nothing with what you said there that deserved that response. But
yeah,
do you
but
find
also...
the more, Twitter's that's what I hate about Twitter. That's why, I'm enjoying my month off at the moment, because it's the lack of clapback is actually so nice.
Thing is, I don't really respond to people when they reply to me, because I tend to just drop my tweets and then I leave. Because I take it very personally when you say things to me. I'm still a human being, and people obviously I don't have a massive following, but I have quite a few followers. And then
what are you on at the moment?
8,000.
Fucking don't have a massive following. I've been on Twitter for 9 years, and I've been 2,000 or something.
But also but you hate on shit for no reason. Like, fuck Ed Sheeran. What did that little hobbit do to anybody?
What did I say, fuck?
Fuck Ed Sheeran.
Oh, yeah, fuck him, though. No, he wrote a whole song called I'm in love with the shape of your body. Use a fucking adjective. What is the shape? Well, like, describe the body to me. Like, tell me so that this song isn't just a generic fucking thing that replies to anyone. That's what I hate about that song, and that's what I hate about Ed Sheeran. Also, he steals fucking riffs. He's average as fuck, and he's overrated.
This is what I admire about you, because you care so much. And I just cannot care about a lot of things.
I've got it, see, the thing is, I hate, like, the structures in place in the world and how they benefit people like Ed Sheeran to the point that someone like him is grossly successful when he's mediocre as fuck, when people who are way more talented than him don't get the opportunities to get to that level.
One day people are going to say that about me. Or they're probably already saying that about me.
No, but you are way more talented than Ed Sheeran is. Like, you're way more original.
Yeah, but I'm all singers.
Pardon?
All singers. I'm more talented than all singers.
More talented than all singers.
Yeah.
Shots fucking fired.
Just because my job is harder.
You think so?
My job is way harder than being a singer.
That is definitely a controversial statement, but I agree. So,
I don't think it's controversial. Do they not know this?
No, well, you see, the thing is though, in terms of control, in terms of the skill to sing, that's hard. It is very hard.
No, it's not. It's a talent.
It is a talent, but it's not just a talent, because it's a talent you have to work. Anyone can sing well, but to have a good voice and to be able to sing well and to work it all into a show, it is a lot of work, like, to do what they do if they do it well. Unless you are just using backing tracks and stuff like that, which a lot of them do.
Yeah, a lot of them can just get on the stage and sing a Celine Dion song or Whitney song. I could never in my entire
cover someone
life.
else's material.
Yeah, I could never do that. Or even cover my material. And I go into stage and I do Nationwild shit, because that's what I'm petrified of. Going on the stage, doing Nationwild shit, and people are like, we've seen this, give us other shit.
But going into Nationwild, did you know that was a possibility?
Yeah, I knew it was a fact.
The material that you picked for that was material you were going to retire?
Yeah, like it was done. It was my best. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm fine with leaving this, but it was my best joke, and I needed to give my best.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's going to do you well way longer. I mean, and you can always write more jokes. Like, this is, I know.
Can I?
Yes, you can.
Can I?
This is the thing I always tell myself, because I know the same thing of, like, sometimes you sit down and you're like, where is it? Like, what is it going to come?
My
but
thing
you just
is
got to trust the process and trust yourself. Like, you've done it enough times.
Because I did it before. I wrote 5 minutes. I wrote more jokes. And I write tweets every day. Yeah. And I wish I had that Twitter brain for comedy.
Don't you? Like, what do you mean?
Like, the fact that I can package something on Twitter in a way that's funny.
But you can't. But the way you package it on Twitter, like, I can imagine you doing it just on stage. Like, and
it's not the same.
Really?
Yeah, it's not the same. There's a lot of context that goes into Twitter. There's a lot of shit that I can say that people find. Like, I can say I look like Joan Strauss. And just that tweet alone, I look like Joan Strauss. That will be funny to people. I can't say that on stage because of context. Because I've made that. It's been a relationship that I've made on Twitter with people. And they're associated with me. And it's fine. Now it's a running gag. I can't go on stage and just say something.
But the thing is, you would be able to do that once those people start coming to your shows, you can extend
there's
those
like one or two of them. It's not enough to be like, I'm going to do a running gag.
Like having lots of followers on the internet does not translate into bums and seats.
At all.
But I still appreciate the people who do still like listen,
obviously.
like and share, and like I just there's
a lot of people who follow me who are also, because they followed me, there was a time that I was just tweeting White Metro Rail. So I understand the class of people who are following me. Yeah. So I understand that those people can't necessarily come to a gig in Cape Town Comedy Club at the waterfront or wherever I am. So I'm not bitter about it. A lot of people are very bitter about the fact that the Twitter followers or the Instagram followers don't come to shows. And I'm just like, it'd be like it. Sometimes I can't even afford to go to gigs, and it's my gig.
Yeah, no, that's the big problem that I have. Like, I'm happy to jump on anytime, anywhere.
Exactly.
If I can afford to get there and back. Like, I'm happily, like, to take little paid, like, depending, like, if I'm just doing 5 minutes, then cool, like, whatever. But can I just get Uber money? Like, can I just do that? Because I want to be on stage. Like, that's my favorite thing to do, is to get on stage and tell jokes. But if it's going to cost me, because it's time, it's money, it's everything, and people don't really see that. Like,
I don't know if you saw this girl on Twitter. She was like, influencers expect money. You probably didn't.
Yeah. Well, I didn't if it was recent.
She was like, influencers
Need to
who expect Uber vouchers to get to a gig, to get to a function, but they get free wine and food at the function.
Oh, fuck you. Like that, no, that's, you meant to give, no, I agree with the influencer side here, because as someone...
Me too, but it was just a white woman, and I was just like, because all the influencers went in on her, but then I was just like, as a white woman... I
hate the term influencer.
Yeah. No, I don't mind it, it serves its purpose.
It's, you know what, it's, the thing is, back in the day, it was just, you were sponsored. Like, you know, like if you look at stuff like Run DMC with my Adidas, that was like the original fucking shit, you know, like, and that's always been a thing. I guess I also come from the skateboarding world, so that's a big thing where, you know, like people came on flow and brands, you know, worked with people a lot. Like, you represented brands a lot. And so nowadays, just that term influencer and just the way it's used and the way it works, it's just like, there's no security in it either, like as a thing. So like as a position to hold, like I don't know, like you got to get in and out, I guess, or you got to maximize.
Yeah, and that's what they do. Influencers are extremely smart about their business. Yeah. That's why I have to give props to them. But also this this lady, I was just like, you're a white woman and you think it's okay to pay women to pay people in wine and food. This is not a good look for you. This is not systematically, historically, it's not a good look for you. I didn't say it because I don't like getting in arguments with people. I sent it to someone else, to another influencer, because I was like, I'm not going to engage with someone who is, they are just fed up. And I was like, everybody on her replied to her, were like, yeah, it's ridiculous, and if you can't take a job, just don't go. And I'm like...
So was the white woman from like a PR place probably? Or,
yeah.
Yeah. No, and I mean, that's the thing, I, like...
She was a freelancer, I don't know what specifically she did, but then she was like, if I can't get to a meeting, then I just don't go. And I'm like, it's not the same thing. This is people's bread and butter. And like, this is the very least you can do. Because what they are doing in return is so much more.
Yeah, they're giving you press.
Exactly.
Like they're giving you reach. No, this has been my argument for years, because I've had this, like, I'm not an influencer, but I ran a media site, which I'm not going to talk about right now, but... just because it's not going to be around, I'll cut this out because I'm ruining the surprise, which is not a good surprise. But fuck, where was it? Oh yeah, so yeah, I've got a media channel, and so through that, you know, lots of people over the years have asked me to come to attend events, to do this, you know, hashtag this, and they think, yeah, giving me a free meal is like, no, it's like, no, you're taking time out of my day, like to come do this thing that I'm now showing my audience, and then, you know, you're getting that value. Yes, there's an exchange here, but it's not, you know, all weighted towards me. Yeah. Like, you're using me.
Exactly. I did one of those things and they wanted me to be there and look like I have a good time, and I got absolutely nothing out of it. And it wasn't my kind of event. I know a lot of people had fun, but I was in the sun. I don't like being in the sun at all. Like, it's not my kind of thing. Yeah, being outdoors... Like, I'm not an outdoorsy person. I don't enjoy it. It was nothing. It was a great event. It just wasn't for me. And then it was really pushed on me that you're not looking like you have a good time. You should look like, and you should Instagram, and you should tweet. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. It's not what my Instagram is for. It's not what my Twitter is for.
It's also, you're not an influencer, essentially.
Exactly. I'm not an influencer. I'm not going to do these things just because you said so.
Although, do you not think like that's a option for making money? Like,
it's extremely, but I didn't make any money.
No, but I mean, in the future, you're not like, because you can now go, cool, I've had this experience, that was cut, but how do I want to actually make this work for me?
Yeah, like if someone approached me and they were like, if any Tresemme or Cantu or any hair product, basically, I need a sponsor for my hair. This shit is expensive.
Then hit them up. Like, that's how you get sponsors.
I should probably try.
Honestly, just pick people that you want to work with, and either make a proposal yourself or chat to someone you know who's good with proposals, and you just break down the numbers for them. Just go, hey, this is what I've done, blah blah blah, these are the places you can see me, or this is, I can give you coverage here on Twitter, Instagram, blah blah blah. And slowly but surely that can become a thing, and then you can even just be like, yeah, even on, like, depending on how big the sponsorship is, you can do a joke.
Yeah, I would do a joke for a sponsor, but that's the thing, like, I was just like, I would do it if I was getting paid. It was an equal thing going on. But just to do it, just to
Yeah.
say I have a good time.
But PR people's job, not PR. I always get like confused between publicity and PR and everything. But like their job is to try and get as much free media as possible. So they're going to do that, and that's where influencers and social media has really helped them a lot because they get to get so much more free coverage than they ever did before. Trying to think where we can end this because we're headed towards that point now, and I'm very bad at that. Like I'm very bad at
ending a podcast.
Yeah, so far I figured out I did okay with the.
How long have you been talking?
Over an hour.
Shit.
Hour and 8 minutes. Yeah, it's been dope.
It hasn't. Yeah, I didn't feel like an hour.
Yeah, you see, the thing is though,
I'm glad we're ending though because I had 2 cups of coffee and my limit is none.
Your limit is none.
Yeah, like I shouldn't have coffee because I'm a very anxious person. So I try not to drink coffee because of the caffeine and so I stick to rooibos tea.
So why did you have coffee now?
No, because I needed something like to wake up.
Have you pick up? Why was last night a late one?
No, it wasn't late. It was just I'm sleeping in a place that I'm not used to.
So you don't sleep well?
Yeah, I didn't sleep well, and there's no curtains.
Oh, we're suffering the same fate this week.
No, I can't complain because I have a bed and that kind of thing. I just don't sleep well in a different place.
But do you sleep here often?
No, it's my first time ever.
Oh, cool. But I mean, so that you stay in Paarl, you said it's 45 minutes away, so getting into town, like for gigs, is it a mission for you? Do you always have to sleep over?
Yeah, I always have to sleep over. I get a lift with my brother to Belleville, and then I take 2 taxis to town, and then I take a taxi to Claremont or to Wynberg, and I meet a friend or whoever I'm staying with. I try and meet up wherever they are.
Yeah, I don't know your guys' taxi service too well yet. Your bus
Is
service
it?
is
You
dope.
should.
Like,
oh, you like the bus? I love the taxi.
Well, I just don't know it. Like, you know, it's going to a different city. Like, you know,
yeah, that's the thing. Joburg taxi.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, I cannot. And
I'm
the
worried.
hand sinkers.
Yeah, and I'm worried with Joburg that I'm just going because also like Cape Town's far enough apart, but also like you're never going to land up too far away that you can't get like back to where you need to be.
What was what I like about
But
I understand gachis. That's the thing where I can just be like, yo, this is where I need to be. And they are so taxi drivers and gachis have always been very kind to me in a way that they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna drop you here. Then you need to, because this is my route. But then you need to walk here and here and here, and then you'll get where you need to be. So I've always been grateful for that kindness. So that's why I'm very loyal to gachis. Yeah.
No, I mean
I'll show you if you want to know.
Well, I mean, I think I'm just gonna catch the train back to Muizenberg later because
but there's a train that goes straight to Muizenberg. That's why.
Yeah, like which is pretty useful. Like,
yeah.
Although the other day, Friday, it didn't come, and then the next one didn't come, and then the next one didn't come, and then it was like an hour later, and a train comes, and everyone's like jumping across the tracks to get it. Always like. So this is the full like Cape Town experience. Like this is what it's like. And then the next day, well, yesterday or the other day, like they set a train alight again. Yeah. And it's just like holy shit. Like this is so real. And I feel for people that actually need to like rely on it.
Yeah. When I worked in town and I had to get, and that's like one of the main reasons where I was just like, I couldn't do that job anymore because I'd wake up at like 5 a.m. to get a 6 a.m. train and then come back 8 o'clock at night. Or sometimes I'd work all day. And then I'd have to go to a gig and get home at 1 a.m. and then do it all over again. So it was extremely tiring.
Yeah, like I can imagine.
It was not a good point in life. So
yeah, it's almost like that was intentionally designed that way.
Yeah, to fuck you over. Yeah, and I think that's where my hatred of the DA came. Where I was just like I was personally affected by it. Yeah. And spatial planning and all those kind of things.
And that they're not really doing anything to change it.
Exactly. And then I just saw the people on the train. It's just all my people.
Yep. No, I mean, I was making observations the other day.
Yeah, and then it's just, there are times I go home crying because it's just like these grown men who are jumping for train. And it's fucking dangerous. Yeah. But they need to get to work or else they get fired and nobody understands. And people, and you still, like, I get it as well. I'd get to work late. And it's just so fucking...
It's like you got up so much earlier than that person who had to walk down the fucking road.
Exactly. It'll take a 2-minute drive from Claremont. And I'd get to work late and they were like, well, where were you? And I'm like, I was stuck on the train. Like, it's not like I could do anything.
There's nothing you can do about that.
I was stuck in the middle of nowhere sometimes. And like, they expect you to get from there to town. And it's just like, if you can't even understand these basic things. And white people in Cape Town are so intolerant. They're so ignorant of everything that goes around them.
Yeah, because I mean they don't see it. Like
Yeah, they
if
don't
you're
have
in
to.
the city here, you will never see what places like Retreat or even like you know,
Yeah.
not that, like I don't know if that's a bad person, but like
Yes, it
going
is.
going along the stops like for the train to Musenberg, like you can kind of see where like everyone like you can see the literal like planning and stuff. Like you can see it starts getting a bit lineier past Retreat because there's less people on the train and they
Yeah.
start getting a little bit whiter, you know, like, and it's just like shit. Like this is you can literally see how everything's structured from your train ride, like.
Yeah.
And it's that's the thing that frustrates me. Like I think Cape Town's beautiful and it's great, but it is like, you know, I love the bus service works because for me personally in Durban that's a big frustration, and taxis can be dangerous and can like, you know, some days you're just like, fuck, am I going to make it to work alive, you know? So I would like a better bus service also because buses can take more people and just economically and environmentally just a lot
I've never
better.
been on a bus in my life.
For real.
I don't know, I've been on a bus, like a school bus or whatever.
But not like a public transport
Yeah,
bus.
I've never used it like Golden Arrow or My City thing.
Damn, like I find the My City awesome. Like,
Is it?
Yeah, no,
I've never. But the thing is, they don't go the places where I need to be.
That was the problem that I was also finding was like, so with the bus, it's dope, but you can't catch it like to Claremont, you can't catch it to Wynberg, you can't.
Yeah, it just works with the white people.
Yep.
That's why it's so nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and it's all the nice things are just made for white people. My city bus will never go to Retreat or anything
No.
where it's actually needed.
Yep.
White people don't need the My City bus. The route that it's along for, it was made for tourists. In this country,
Yeah.
I mean, this town doesn't care
And
about us.
that's why it's pretty much easy for me, and I can
Ending
come
your
here and be
podcast
like,
on an angry note.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. Fuck, no, because I'm with you. Fuck the
You-
DA. Fuck, like, genuinely fuck the DA. Fuck everything they've done for a
Fuck
very
South
long
Africa
time.
because it just doesn't care.
Yeah. Do
This-
you, and
This is what makes me angry at colored people because we're not the majority here, but I mean there's so many of us who are so poor. And I mean I've been to East London and there were a lot of colored people there. And then I went to Joburg and I played with the colored people there. And I'm like, the poorest colored people are in Cape Town.
And, but I mean, that could be because in other places, black people are treated as lower. And
Yeah, no, that's completely fair.
like, so whereas in Cape Town there's less black people, so coloreds
Yes.
kind of suit that role, like, within the way things are structured.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Well, it's not
But-
fine.
but
It's
not
all
fine.
completely and utterly fucked
No,
up. But, like,
but
I'm
it's
just,
fucked up. But now it's just like that's something I can accept. I understand it. Look at it in school. But then I'm like, there's still colored people who vote for the DA. And then I'm like, that I don't understand.
But that's because you
that
want to be
makes
close
me
to whiteness,
angrier
and
than
that's
anything else.
anti-blackness. Like,
Yeah, it's just anti-blackness. And the fact that the only reason less people are going to vote for the DA now is because Muslim man is going to be there. We're going to have to vote for a black man. And they're not
Really?
gonna, yeah, and they're not going to do it.
So is anti-black racism big even in colored communities in like Durban? Because I know Neil and I discussed it a bit. In, like, sorry, not in Durban, in Cape Town. Because I know in Durban it can be a thing.
Oh my god. Oh, it's bad. It's so bad. It's so bad I've been a victim of it. Like that's just because I'm a dark skinned girl with Crusade. Like it's been so bad for me. Like within my own family, they like don't stand in the sun. This is why I still do this. I don't.
So is this what? Yeah. So but then that creates hang-ups like forever. Like
Yeah, but it's also I like the way it shaped me in a way where I'm like, okay, I see this is fucked up.
yeah.
I've
you're
never
right.
internalized it in a way like I'm not good enough. Okay, maybe a little bit. You know what I mean? Keeps you humble. But now anti-blackness has really shaped me to understand that colored people are shit.
And do you think long-term this is stuff you're going to delve into with your comedy?
Probably. I have tried to, but I just don't think I have the experience to do it
Yeah.
well enough.
I think like with stuff like that, it is about getting the experience, getting comfortable, and having the audience trust you.
Yeah.
And the last thing I actually wanted to chat about, Anna, because we're right here at Barakta Room. You guys have started.
Yes,
up
I have
awesome
a gig.
fucking gig. Yes.
Yes, it's Frizz Pop. It's me and Kate Pinchuk.
Why Frizz? Frizz.
Frizz.
Pop? Frizz. Okay, I know the two of you. I see why you call that
Yeah,
Frizz Pop.
if you see a photo of us, you'll understand exactly why it's called Frizz Pop. And then it's a comedy room where we wanted to start a room because we were always talking about how difficult it was. Just the tiny things to start in armchair for a girl and how scary it is to not only walk into a male-dominated industry but to walk into a room full of men.
Yep. And
And only
in terms
men on the
of-
lineup.
Yeah, audience, crowd, audience, comedians,
Yeah.
everyone there is
Just men. And we just wanted to change that. We just wanted a room where someone who is not the cishet male can start.
yeah.
That's all we wanted.
Yeah, and that's important because once again, representation really fucking does matter.
Yeah,
Once
and
people start seeing,
We have enough rooms in Cape Town. It's just that start changes everything.
yeah,
Because I know the reason why my career has been the way it is and the way my presence comedy has been is because I started on such a good note.
yeah. I mean, it
It's-
sounds like you just hit the ground running. You had support already. and-
Yeah, like I had a good system, I had a good support structure. So I was very fortunate, and I want to create that for other women. Because you need to. We need more women. I can't be the only one.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, we've started the women's open mic for underground comedy, and it's already
See,
brought
that's the
in
thing where I
for
just,
you.
a woman only night, it makes no sense to me. Don't other me further.
We're not trying to other, it's more just creating the platform. Like, it's
Yeah,
because...
you can create a platform without othering, because that's
But
what the Raptor Room is. I'm not othering it. It's not a woman. It just happened to be a woman in the lineup.
See, for me, it's like, if we didn't do the women's open mic, then we wouldn't have those women try. Like,
Yeah.
straight up. Because of the issues that you're busy saying. Like, so where it's...
But you know what? There are many ways to skin a cat. So as long as it's being done, at least you make an effort.
I mean, the thing is, I don't
Which
want
I'm
it to be
very-
a thing that continues forever. Like, I want it to be a thing that this is a platform to start with, and then once we have enough women within the comedy scene that it's no longer necessary, once we can
Yeah.
have 2 or 3 like people almost getting like, if we can get a 50-50 mix on lineups, I would be so fucking happy.
Yeah.
Like, that's like my goal for the next year. Because that's also the thing is, I just looked at the festival this year and I only had like 2 or 3 women on the lineup, and that was because I wasn't doing enough with underground comedy.
Yeah.
Because underground comedy for me is meant to feed into the festival. So,
Yeah, you need that feeder system. You need to nurture it
And
on the
so-
ground up.
I see that underground comedy it is a male dominated space, and no matter how many times I would try and convince women to come and do it, they didn't want to do it. Like, it was like, nah, I don't know. But the second we did the women's open mic, and the second we did like the workshop for women
Yeah,
at the
we also
festival,
want to workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
then the second we started doing that, like, women came out and started doing it, and they were like, yes. And now we've got, I'd say, about 4 or 5 women just in the last 2 months who have joined us.
Yeah.
And about 3 or 4 of them are like pretty good. Like, it's like, and that's dope because now more women are going to see that and want to do it. And
Yeah.
that, in my mind, that's like how it's
That is how
hopefully
it
going to
works.
work. So, but I do get the othering. I do go like get the whole, we should all be doing this together. But I just think because of the structures in place, it's almost like a BEE thing. It's
Yeah.
like it's slightly necessary for a
You
short
need-
period of time.
Yeah,
Like-
you do need that upliftment.
So, Raptor Room, when is it starting?
It's the 9th of November.
I think this is going to
Starts
come
at
out the
8.
week before. Yeah.
Yeah. Starts at 8. Tickets are 70 Rand. Please, please, you can get in quick. So I'll send you the link.
Doing the whole pre-sale tickets
Yes.
and everything. And how does it feel to be running your own room? Like,
It's scary. It's cuck scary.
what are you scared about?
Not being able to pay the comics. And not selling out. And then I still have to worry about being the host because I never hosted before. Like, I've done a few MC things
Okay.
and that kind of thing. But
Yeah, hosting's hard. Like,
it is fucking hard.
yeah, no, it's its own skill set. It's very much there's some, but it's a thing you have to do. And when you get your own room, that's the whole point. I think, a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
the
the
time.
thing. The point of the room is, yeah.
Okay, and then I guess what do you see as your, like, I haven't asked anyone else's, so it feels a weird. But what do you see as your comedy weaknesses and that you're trying to work on and shore up?
My comedy weakness is doing short, because I don't do enough time. I want to do long on stage. Comedy weaknesses, so many. It's gonna be a 2-hour-long podcast. My weaknesses.
What's your biggest weakness that you like? That's always like, fuck, I just hate this. Like, I just want to change this. Like, the most. Like, what's the thing you work at the hardest on, essentially, to not
To
do?
remember my jokes.
Oh God, trust me, I know that one. That is my biggest hang-up. I think a
Yeah,
lot of
to
the time.
remember your jokes. Thing is, I don't have a lot of the mannerisms that other guys have.
Yeah.
Because I've always been kind of, not a lone wolf, but I've always been so unique in my approach in comedy. So I don't have that. It's crazy, guys. Like, those mannerisms
Yeah.
that other guys have. But I'm trying to swear less. But I mean,
Wow.
Just for the, like I said, I respect my mother, and I
Okay.
just, if she's not happy with it, then I shouldn't be happy with it either.
Okay.
So I try and swear less, just for my, but that's the thing, I swear in my personal life, so obviously it comes through in my
Yeah. It
comedy.
was weird. Even the other night, like someone swore early in the gig, and Gina was like, why is he swearing? I was like, I don't know, like I don't even do it on purpose. And, like,
Yeah.
and so I swore like within my first like bit, and like immediately was just like, oh fuck.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, when other people do it, doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I don't
obviously.
even notice.
Yeah, but for me, it's just like it's got nothing to do with me. A lot of what other people do, I don't care. But that's the thing with the Ed Sheeran thing. I don't care who you listen to. I don't care what you do or say, unless it affects me. So I've always been that kind of person. So
Cool. I think that's actually a pretty good like
Yeah.
spot to
on
And-
a self wank.
on a self wank. Yeah. Well, this whole, I mean, whatever. This whole thing that we do is like one giant self wank.
It is, but then you get to say, yeah, I'm making people happy.
Making people happy by jerking off. It's like being a cam girl kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like, it's like I'm making these guys happy.
Yeah.
whilst literally
I'm
making
bringing
myself feel
joy
happy.
to the masses. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, Lindy.
It's my pleasure.